Ever find yourself pondering how to grow your own tomatoes at home? Well, you're not alone. Tomatoes are a staple ingredient in many dishes, and the difference in taste between store-bought and homegrown tomatoes is like night and day. Not to mention, growing your own tomatoes can be a fun, rewarding, and cost-effective hobby. Homegrown tomatoes are fresh, juicy, and packed with flavor that you just can't get from the supermarket. Plus, there's an undeniable satisfaction that comes from eating food that you've grown yourself. But if you've never grown tomatoes before, you might be wondering where to start. That's where this video comes in. We're going to guide you through the entire process, from choosing the right seeds to harvesting your ripe, juicy tomatoes. We'll cover everything you need to know, breaking down each step to make it as simple as possible. By the end of this video, you will have the knowledge needed to plant, grow, and harvest your own tomatoes. First things first, you need to choose the right tomato seeds. The world of tomato seeds is vast and varied. From beefsteak to cherry, Roma to heirloom, each type has its unique taste, texture, and growth habit. When choosing the right tomato seeds, consider your climate. Some varieties thrive in cooler temperatures while others need a long, hot growing season. For instance, if you live in a region with short summers, early ripening varieties like Early Girl or Stupis would be a good choice. Next, take into account the space you have available. Smaller, bushier varieties like Patio Choice Yellow are perfect for container gardening or small spaces. Lastly, think about your personal preference. Do you want a sweet, snackable cherry tomato or a hearty beefsteak for slicing? Remember, the type of seed you choose can make a big difference in the success of your tomato garden. Now that you've chosen your seeds, it's time to plant them. The first step involves preparing the soil. Opt for a well-draining soil mix enriched with organic compost. This provides your seeds with the nutrients they need to sprout and grow. Next, let's talk about depth. Tomato seeds should be planted about 1/4 of an inch deep. This shallow depth allows the seeds to access the light they need for germination. Spacing is another key aspect of planting. You'll want to place the seeds about 2 feet apart. This gives your tomato plants ample room to grow and spread without competing for resources. Remember, the process of planting might seem simple, but it's crucial. The depth of your planting, the quality of your soil, and the spacing of your seeds all significantly affect the health and yield of your tomato plants. Proper planting is crucial for your tomatoes to grow healthy and strong. After planting, it's time to take care of your tomato plants. Now let's delve into the details of nurturing these little sprouts to become robust, fruit-bearing plants. Watering is a crucial aspect of tomato plant care. It's not simply about how often, but also how much water you give your plants. A general rule of thumb to follow is to water your plants deeply, but infrequently, aiming for about 1 to 2 inches of water per week. This includes rainfall. So, if you've had a week of heavy rain, you may not need to water at all. On the other hand, during a dry spell, you'll need to water more often. The key here is to ensure the soil is moist but not waterlogged. Next, let's talk about sunlight. Tomato plants are sun worshippers. They need at least 6 to 8 hours of direct sunlight each day. Without sufficient light, your plants will struggle to produce fruit. So, choose a spot in your garden that gets plenty of sunshine, and if you're growing indoors, consider using a grow light. Now, on to fertilizing. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, meaning they require a lot of nutrients. After planting, wait until the first flowers appear before you start fertilizing. Use a balanced, slow-release fertilizer and follow the package directions for application rates. Remember, too much fertilizer can be just as harmful as too little, so don't overdo it. Finally, as your tomato plants grow, they'll need some support. Tomato cages or stakes are perfect for this. These structures prevent the plants from falling over under the weight of their fruit and keep the tomatoes off the ground, reducing the risk of disease. Remember, every plant is unique and might require slightly different care. Keep an eye on your tomato plants and adjust your care routine as needed. Pay attention to their leaves, growth rate, and the quality of the fruit they produce. These are all signs of how well your plant is doing. With proper care, your tomato plants will thrive and produce a bountiful harvest. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for, harvesting your tomatoes. As your tomatoes mature, they will transition from a green to a deep, vibrant red. This color change is your clue that they're ripe and ready to pick. If you give a gentle squeeze and the tomato feels slightly soft, it's time to harvest. Now, on to the actual harvesting. Always remember to be gentle. Grasp the tomato firmly yet delicately, twist it until the stem snaps, and voila! You've successfully harvested a tomato. Avoid yanking or pulling harshly, as this may damage the plant and inhibit future growth. If you're dealing with a stubborn tomato that refuses to let go, use a pair of garden shears to snip it off at the stem. This method is especially handy for those hard-to-reach tomatoes. And there you have it, your very own homegrown tomatoes ready to enjoy. Let's quickly go over what we've learned today. Remember, the key to a bountiful tomato harvest starts with the selection of the right seeds. Choose varieties that are best suited for your climate and soil conditions. The next step is planting your seeds correctly. Depth matters, so aim for about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. Also, ensure that your seeds have ample room to grow. Once your seeds are in the ground, it's all about care and maintenance. Regular watering is crucial, but be careful not to overwater. Too much water can lead to root rot and other diseases. Also, don't forget the importance of sunlight and nutrient-rich soil. Finally, harvesting. Timing is everything. Pick your tomatoes when they're ripe and full of color. Remember, patience is your friend here. Now you're equipped with the knowledge to grow your own tomatoes at home.
Happy gardening and thanks for watching.